All right, here comes the match of the round. Replay of last year's Premiership Division Grand Final that was won by Launceston in overtime after time was up, with a kick from Jack Dunbar that put Launceston as premiers. This year they're without Dunbar, but they've picked up a good collection of new players, and they will be out to retain bragging rights over Taroona, who come with a very mostly consistent team, but have also picked up some handy recruits this year in the Thomas brothers, Lewis and Harry, and also Aaron Lovell, who've come across having played at Glenorchy. It's good sportsmanship between the two teams here. Let's take a quick look at the Taroona side for today. There they are, so a front row made up of two Thomases, Aidan Fenny, the Taroona's version of Thor, and then Harrison, Holman, Eddington, Towie and Lean. It's a pretty handy looking forward pack. And then in the back line, Salter's back after having the last half of last year off mostly. Kazarine, Blowfield out on the wing, Andreessen, Tuivasa, Lovell, Bird and Dewindham. And then a bench over there of players mostly who played in that earlier match against Easts, where Taroona won quite comfortably. It's going to be Launceston with the kickoff. TJ Peters, very handy halfback, and he directs and leads this team very well. Captain Callum Lyle out there in number 5. And the kick from Peters doesn't quite make the 10, but taken by James Holman on the run, and he nearly gets it back to the halfway. Ball comes out, Towie running across the field, makes some contact. And ball comes now. Harry Thomas all off his feet there, and that penalty will come the way of Taroona. That's fly half for Launceston, Joe Sunler. And again, not supporting their own weight at the breakdown. Well, it's not Sunler. We've got the green shorts for a few in Launceston. We're going to come back for the original penalty. No, only one back there. And Taroona will kick for touch off the boot of Salter. And he makes his team about 15 metres. Sorting out my on-screen graphics again there. First half, clock started. Scores are 0-all after a couple of minutes. 1 minute. Thomas with the throw. And they go long to Lean. Takes it comfortably, pops it, Salter, Kazarine, Andreessen. Good solid tackling in the midfield there by Launceston. Salter now finds Lean. He has Eddington on his shoulder. And it comes back comfortably for the blue team. Towie loves getting his hands on the ball in the midfield too. Very hard worker. Ball comes to Lovell. Oh, nearly intercepted there, but it gets into the hands of Blowfield on the far side. Makes some metres down the wing. And Taroona looking very solid at the moment. Launceston need to release as they hit the ground. Some good pressure though by them. Ball comes now, Thomas of the Harry kind. And Salter goes wide. Good contact out there. Jordan Eddington in the black headgear. And Lovell, that ball was meant to go past him and he sticks his hand out and knocks it forward. So lots of good movement there from Taroona. Very steady defence from Launceston, just shifting side to side, not allowing any gaps and really covering Taroona, forcing them to look for those wide passes and then eventually pushing the mistake. Peters checking with his number 10 out there, who's wearing the number 23, Joey Sandler. Comes in. Good scrumming by Launceston. They drive forward. Just twists a little bit. Pass doesn't come comfortably though to Ben Louis. Gets across in front of him. And Launceston recover though. Lost about 6 or 7 metres, maybe 10. And good pressure at the breakdown. Agayava with the kick. Finds the chest of Bird and it hits it solidly and bounces off. So a let off there for Launceston. Kicks didn't make touch. Bird unable to gather it. And Launceston will have another scrum. They looked very solid in that last scrum. All right, Peters with the put in. Nice scrumming here. Just popped up on this side. Very evenly matched at the scrum. Sandler goes across. Kicks this time. Dewindham runs onto it, but the ball bounces over his head. He gathers it nicely, though. He really needed to run that forward. He's put a kick on. Gathered easily out there by Launceston. And some flash running. Oh, kick through by Bell as well. Nobody's home. Ball runs into touch. And I think Blowfield got there first. Very good competition out there. Oh, that was close. Great kick there. Just watch the second row of Vincent Bell. Sees the kick through. Player looked onside. And there's a bit of a chase down there. Blowfield comes just from behind and gets a hand on it. And that'll be a goal line dropout to Taroona. So very dangerous looking attacking prowess out on that wing on the far side. And Salter kicks it our way. Taken easily by Launceston and they run it back near the 22-metre line. Got to roll out of the way, not making a lot of effort, but out of the way. Taroona, the bottom there. And the ball goes wide. Some quick running, and through he goes. And the dashing footwork out there with a bit of good support play sees Launceston go over and put 5 points on the board. I think Ben Louis running the good support line out there. Ball comes out, Sandler gets up, steps off the right, runs into the traffic there, but Louis puts on the afterburners and goes over. So Launceston didn't take them many opportunities with the ball in hand to put that score on. And the bonus 2, so they take a 7-0 lead over Taroona. Taroona's defence are going to need to be sharp because some of these guys have got lightning footwork on that Launceston back line. Any inches given are ending up in damaging attacking situations. All right, Salter now with the kick. He needs some good chases on this one. Didn't really have that on that line dropout before. Goes nice and high. And ball probably knocked on by Launceston out there, but regathered by Taroona. Harry Thomas has been busy, had his hands on the ball a few times. Ball now comes out, and good attacking run there from Taroona through Finney Taue. They come again, Lewis Thomas this time, hitting the gain line and making metres. And it's been knocked on though and turned over, and Peters roosts it downfield and finds touch. So the basics there being done reasonably well by Taroona, but just a couple of mistakes there with the knock on turning it over. They'll get the ball back here at the line out. There's another Premiership Division match simultaneously on the field here behind us. Burnie have just scored a try against Harlequins. You can check the scores on Rugby Explorer. I'll try and keep you up to date with them if you're watching. Harrison not quite able to catch that one, but it comes down and Thomas gathers. Needs to get himself to ground, and he does. Salter to Kazarine. Gives it off to Eddington. Running with it, ball in two hands. Salter gives it off to Lovell. Oh, he drops it, so the yips for Taroona need to maintain some ball security. TJ Peters sees no one home at fullback, and he's chipped it through. If it sits for him, it doesn't. Can he get it away? No. The cavalry arrives. Oh, Vincent Bell picks it up nicely at his bootlaces. There's going to be a check with the assistant, but I can tell you now, Vincent Bell gathered that. Looks like he scored it to me. Ball didn't quite bounce for Peters. Bell scoops it up and then gets it over. No, okay. Called a knock on. I don't know if we'll pick it up again on a replay of the replay. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, looks like he may have spilled it. I don't know. Can't quite tell. Scoreboard will show no try. So Taroona defending again. Launceston looking very threatening with the ball in hand. Well, that wasn't in hand that time so much. TJ Peters with the kick. Couple of good kicks through too. Taroona will really need to be on their guard. Wingers playing deep. Ball comes now to Lovell. He's going to run it a little bit here. Straightens up. Runs into a little bit of attention behind him. Nice defence there from the number 16. Maki Nandavelu from Launceston. Making a nuisance of himself. Lovell making good use of the referee as a shield. And they come blind. Thomas gives it off to Bird, who's got a little bit of space. He needs to find some support. Gets the fend up pretty high there, actually. Needs to be careful. But Parlay takes him down easily. And the ball there, in the end, cunningly taken by TJ Peters, diving on it at the bootlaces of James Holman, who couldn't quite snatch it away from Peters. And now they've got some space. Launceston get out wide. Agayava pushes the pass. Very flat out there, and the pass went behind. Blowfield takes the ball, not held in the tackle, but puts it back. Taroona with a knock-on advantage here. Salter to Thomas, stolen by Peters, and will come back for the knock-on. High pressure game out there at the moment. Both sides just making basic handling errors, not really surprising. Start of the season, just getting back into match fitness and that mentality, but played at a high pace. Helicopter flying over, not looking for us. Westpac heading to the hospital. Exciting news. Taroona with the scrum, fed by Salter. Solid platform, dishes it off. Kazarine takes it to the line, gets it out to Andreessen, who finds Dewindham, finds Bird running back on an inside line. Can't get past Parlay again though. It's going to be a good duel on that wing. Now the ball comes wide to Lean, dummies and straightens up. And the ruck, midfield. Taue runs into some solid tackling there from Briggs on the high tackle. Holman taken low this time. And Taruna now finds some space. And Lean dishes off to Salter, and he goes over. Some nifty work around the side of the ruck there by Big Anthony Lean, Taruna captain. Salter following along. Here you see Holman go to ground. Lean picks and drives. Tackle around the 1 foot there. But Salter's sniffing around behind him, and Taruna come up with their first points of the day. Narrow that gap to 2 with Kazarine yet to kick the conversion. So good movement there from Taruna. They'll certainly be happy to have Anthony Lean back out there, and he's leading this team today for the rest of the season. We've had some injuries. He and James Holman work well together. Good duels around there, although Lean's playing at number 8. I like to think that Holman and Lean make a formidable lock combination to match Lyle and Bell from Launceston. Another good combination there. So conversion's also good. And we are locked at 7 apiece. Two dynamic teams out here. Taruna's main strengths will be, I think, their consistency and their set piece. But Launceston, good at set piece as well. But some very dynamic players out there who can turn the tide very quickly. Ball's going to get over Lovell. A lot of talk back there. Blowfield, he'll give it off to Lovell this time. We'll have a bit of a run. And he's hard to get. He gets past the first tackle. And the second tackle. Ho-ho! Some contact out there. And Aaron Lovell showing why they love him out here as a Taroona player. Nice inside ball there, finding Harrison, but not really making any ground. Kazarine now running to the line. Eddington finds Bird on the outside again. Nearly loses it. Probably a high tackle there. Don't think it was awarded. Certainly not overly dangerous. Just need to be very careful tackling with head in front of head. And Holman dishes it off. Some very quick hands between Holman, Lean and Parlay, and then eventually Blowfield comes in to take the supporting pop from Parlay. Taue, excuse me, getting my names wrong. Aaron Lovell getting his hands on the ball again. Some good contact at the breakdown. Counter ruck by Launceston, but Taroona get it out. I'm loving Nundalevu at the breakdown for Launceston. He makes a nuisance of himself every time, though. He's skirting with being off his feet. Very, very good. Legs wide apart. Really pushing the boundaries and winning himself a penalty this time. Look how low he gets over that ball. Certainly looks like he's got his body weight on the player, but that's my opinion, and the referee doesn't agree. So great work by Nundalevu. Throw from Fons. Finds Lyle, and they go wide. Agayava, Louis. Brown at fullback, injecting himself in the line. copping a bit of a shove. And then eventually, after a good 15-metre run, got an assistant referee flag out on this side. We'll see what happens at the next breakdown with that. Solid contact on Launceston from Taroona, but they're making good metres every time. And here he is, Nandalevu. Again making metres. Briggs. Good combination tackle by the Thomas brothers. And this time the knock-on happens. And we've got a penalty advantage for a high tackle. Must have been, assistant referee's flag was out, but it must have been for a penalty to Launceston earlier, so no longer relevant, because that's a better advantage. And the line out to Launceston inside the 22. Fons with the throw. This time finds Cooper. Nandalevu hangs on to it himself. It's gone forward though and picked up by Louis. Just a little bit of miscommunication in there between the fly half and the outside centre. Louis took a bit of an unders line and ran into the space Nandalevu was heading at. And then the ball ended up dropped. But very threatening in that position. Solid contact in the scrum at the start. Taruna lock it up, but the ball's in there. Salter manages to get it out, and they go left. Lovell runs past the first tackle. That's a common statement, but they eventually bundle him over the sideline. And the quick line-out's taken too by Launceston. But this time, Taroona managed to force the penalty. There it is, Lovell taken over the sideline. Quick line out. And he's in it again here. Nandalevu goes to ground. It just holds on a little bit too long. The support came. Seeing some attention over there to Taroona player. Anthony Lean, I think. Oh, he's not... not happy, and he's going to come from the field too. That's a big blow to Taroona to lose their captain. Only 20 minutes in. So disappointment for them. Replaced by Enzo Balducci, who's a menacing machine himself. He's played a lot of second grade rugby where he causes headaches for tacklers, although I think it'll be a different story against this very solid Launceston crew. Kick goes out and Taroona will have a line out just their side of halfway. Thomas with the throw, nice view down there, and won by Lyle, getting up there nice and quickly. Solid tackle out there on the number 14. Losi Vunadakua, and the ball's been turned over. Good clean out by Kazarine. Eddington again, he's been busy. Not making a lot of ground. Ball now comes wide. Andreessen straightens up. He needs to get some support. Got a penalty advantage, I think, for offside here, Taroona, and it's been dropped. So another penalty. Taroona will kick and go further down. tight match here. Some elusive running early by Launceston. Taroona have tightened up on their defence now, a bit more awake to that. I think the kicking game of Peters may be something that might set them apart. Taroona's wingers playing pretty shallow rugby and really need to keep their eyes open for those cunning little kicks over the back. Conversely, Taroona been very consistent with their ball in hand. A few knock-ons, a few drop balls here and there, but ultimately playing conservative, structured rugby, which is usually their strength. Thomas taking his time. And they go to Harrison, but he misses him. Fenny over the back. Knocked on though. So line out woes for Taroona. Having lost their last two on their throw. Right, Peters with the put in. Agayava having conversation with Sanla. Ball comes blind to Finiasi Pale, who gets past the first tackle and the second. Balducci getting across quickly, but unable to take it. And then Pale ends up being taken back by James Holman. And a scrappy ruck here. Players from both teams complaining. And Briggs gets his hands on the ball. Makes a metre or two. Push wide now. Scarf. Sandler has Pale on his outside and the ball goes forward. And we've got, I think we might see a penalty to Taroona here, with Balducci probably having an arm around his neck at the ruck, not very far away. No, sorry, the other way around, against Balducci for his contact around the neck. Agayava with the kicking duties. Will be kicking straight for our tent. He's done a lovely shot there too and taken his team within 30 metres of Taroona's try line. Love the crowd interaction with the players. Oh, and not let down there. Lyle jumped and not let down very safely by his lifters, but some great ball work out there by Launceston. Sees it get right out to the wing. They haven't actually made any ground though. Still behind the original gain line of the line out. Wood, solid contact on him from Holman. Here it is, Sandler goes wide, Pale hangs on to it. That's really what Taroona wanted, but they can't grab him. He's such a speedster, so light on his feet. And pushing him back in field really helped. If he had got the pass around the outside, he had support there and an open field in front of them. But they're looking good now with the ball in hand, Launceston driving forward. Briggs, his hands on the ball plenty of the time. Harry Thomas not rolling out of the way effectively enough there. And the penalty will go against him. TJ Peters knew what he was doing there too. Jumped over the top of Thomas so he couldn't get out of the way. And opting for a scrum. I think they'll love the idea here, Launceston, of having their backs with some space. Taroona's defence here will be tested. Nice 20-metre blind side over on the left with Finiasi Pale in some space. He's got a wicked step. Or will they go wide and look for one of their centres running into a gap? And we have a scrum collapse. Boys will stay nice and still for a little while the referee decides who comes out. We normally bring the back players out first. Hopefully no one's injured in the middle of this. This is the Mayday call, so someone in there is not happy. No, everyone's up. Good example of player welfare there. Well done, everybody involved. Scrum just collapsed on both sides and potential danger for neck injuries. And players are well trained and well versed in how to deal with that. So well done, everybody. We'll try that again. Parlay now moving. Salter just coming a little bit quickly. Thought that ball was going to come out. Ball at the hands of Sunla. Can't take it. Sorry, at the feet. And it's knocked on. All right. So good news for Taroona. Anthony Lean is returning to the field. May have gone off with under a blood rule. Not aware of any head contact checking at this level of rugby. We don't have doctors on hand. We might have a doctor on hand. Oh, fantastic scrum by Launceston, but somehow Salter gets it out of there. And Bird running on that inside line again, gets past a couple of tacklers. Parlay held his line and made sure he didn't get outside, but Bird's really not aiming to run at him. And then Salter eyes some empty grass out the back. Parlay gets back though. Kazarine needs to track him and he does well. The pass misses Louis and finds that man whose name I've said a few times, Nandalevu, way out wide. Getting back quickly and with Sandler as well. Launceston now, ball right on the halfway, midfield, Briggs. He's been very busy with the ball in hand as Briggs. Made some solid tackles too. Nandalevu taking that ball. And now it comes wide to Louis. Towie can't take him, but the ball comes back to Scarf. Very solidly hit and just gets that ball back. Pick and drive, makes not a lot of metres, but gets past the gain line and keeps them moving forward. Interesting again, Bell with the kick. Seems to have been given free rein to kick as a second rower. Dewindham kicks that ball. That goes forward by about 2 metres. I think we've called that from the assistant. No, looks like our comms aren't very good. I thought assistant referee called that one forward. And Launceston regather on the far side of the field. Scarf. They got big gaps out wide. That's also forward. In a similar place to the previous forward pass, so we kind of end up back where we were to start with. But quick movement of the ball from Launceston, just the execution letting them down a little bit. If that pass had been back, there was some big spaces out here. Taroona front rowers in the back line defending on this side and had Louis and Parlay outside them. Both with pace to burn. 7 apiece. It's been that way for about 15 minutes. Teams both locked in this battle. Neither able to really get a foothold on dominance over the other. Lean picks it out. Has Salter. He decides to go the other way. And he has Andreessen out the back. Under a lot of pressure. Nice work by Louis to get out of the ruck. Heading straight south. Lovell He's been well handled today, and he's holding on there too. Launceston definitely looking the more threatening at the moment. Taroona is being pushed into errors by a lot of pressure in the defence from Launceston. Interesting line out on the far side, and I can see Vincent Bell has run to the wing on this side, but Launceston don't win it. Salter needs to get it. He taps it up and backwards. And Andreessen takes the ball in, being careful there not to roll too far. Oh, low ball for Towie. And Taruna player down. No, he's okay. Andreessen comes up. Lovely. He'd love to have a run here. Fends off Scarf very easily. And now Towie again finds a little bit of space, but can't dish that off. Just needed to hang on to that one. Wasn't quite on. Good effort there though for him to got through the first defensive line. Try that again. Yeah, too late. Replay just playing up a little bit on me there. Yeah, Launceston defended Towie's options there really nicely just to make sure that he couldn't get that right hand away. So he spilled it forward. Peters now. Good scrumming by Launceston. And they come quickly to the left. Andreessen puts the pressure on Louis, and Bird is all over that. Great work there by Taroona. It was good defence in the back line there. Louis came across field, and Bird just shadowed his winger. Got up really quickly, forced Louis to hang on to the ball, and you can see there Bird just got straight over the top of that, and no one was cleaning him out. Now Taroona kick the ball. Don't make a lot of ground there though. It's a bit of a breeze blowing into their faces as they kick in that direction. Ensuring the ball goes out is probably more important than trying to make too many metres, but not a lot of ground made on that one. Line out, not quite right there, just not getting it right. Just new combinations in there, not quite getting the call. Lewis Thomas lifting, got back a little bit slowly on Harrison. And we've got maybe some blood over this side. Ollie Bird in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, calling for assistance. Need to... Referee hasn't stopped the game yet, so they're going to just play on, isn't it? Launceston scrum again. Ball comes out. Sunlar looks for Parlay running in. He spins, but is hit really nicely in the tackle. Quick pickup though, and it's been knocked on back here. So I'm loving Launceston's quick movement of the ball through here. They're really trying to exploit Taroona's back line, but they're just not quite getting those combinations to work. And there's enough pressure coming in defence just to put them off that game. So both teams now really similar scenario. Got Ollie Bird over this side just fixing his contact lens. That was what the actual problem was, I think. Using the side mirror of the ute that our camera's on top of. And I think he's got it back in. Probably got some dirty smears on it or something, but he'll be right. And ball comes out. Same tunnel by the look of it, so we'll reset. So just laughing at the interactions over here with Bird and the Taroona strapper, Alex Cole. So great game here so far. Very tight rugby. Lots of little errors made by both sides. That's the nature of this kind of competition when it's close. Neither side can dominate, and they're all just trying something to allow them to get in front, but nothing's quite working for both teams. Oh, Dewindham in a big space. Gets around Louis and Agayava with a beautiful fend. He goes again with the fend. Finally taken down, and his support players get there. I'm not sure what's going on there with Salter. And Callum Lyle having a bit of a scuffle. Maybe ran into each other behind the play. Now Taroona slow down. Can they go? Will they go wide? Andreessen running a nice line. Ball in two hands. Taroona go right this time. They got numbers here. Oh, beautiful work by Harry Thomas. He's just short of the line. Salter pushes a really wide. Bird, though, well covered by Parlay. Good defence out there. He spins his way towards the line. And they settle. Pushing very close now. Holman. Well tackled. They might even have him on this one. No, he gets it back. Long arms. Ball goes wide. Lean. Big gap for Lovell. Goes through. Runs into the tackler who gets sat on his backside. And Aaron Lovell, in his first game for Taroona, scores a beautiful try just beside the post. The tackle here of Vuna Dakua was very subpar. Boom. Oh, I don't think I'd have taken him either. And Lovell, he loved that. So after a lot of pressure from Launceston, Taroona managed to score a try. Again, maintaining possession really was their strength there. They just worked their way down the field. Some great running by outside backs. Dewindham made a good break through a number of tackles with his swerving running style. He's very similar, I think, and very light-footed, like we see from Finiasi Parlay on the other side as well. So entertaining rugby from our outside backs on both teams at the moment. And the conversion's good. Taroona 14, Launceston 7. We've hit 40 minutes on our clock. Couple of stoppages, so we might see a minute or two left. But a very tight game of rugby here. We're seeing Taroona just managed to hit the lead. In the last few minutes of this half. Ball goes back. Lovell, the try scorer, met very solidly by Vinnie Bell, who's holding his face as he lies on the ground. And that is half time. So very, very entertaining and tight first half. Launceston scored the first try. Taroona hit back with two, one very soon after the first try by Launceston, and then 25, 30 minutes later, we saw the second one just moments ago. Who knows what's going to happen in the second half? Weather's perfect for rugby here. Players really settling in now. Fitness will tell in the first round, but we'll be back very soon to show you the second half of this match. All right, welcome back. Close match here. Just a quick score check for the other grounds that are underway at the moment. Close your ears if you don't want to hear. Behind us on the other ground of Rugby Park, Harlequins versus Burnie. Burnie are 36-3 leaders there. And over at Edie Street, Glenorchy 16 to Devonport 3. And here, 14-7 to Taroona, who came in with a very late try. Let's see what Launceston have got to come back. Bell juggles the ball and taken by Lean. Launceston will go to the ruck. Cooper hits it up. And they go back to the blind. Taken to ground. Just easy as. Both teams easing into this half. Agayava now opts for the kick. And it's a good one, but only really gets his team just outside the 22, and Taruna will have an attacking line out. 25 metres out. Good contest there by Launceston, but knocked on. So Taroona will have an scrum advantage here, and they will take the ball again. Finney Towie busting through tackles. Ball comes wide. Kazarine, he has a look himself, but the defence gets back across. Scarf picked quickly, and Kazarine loses it backwards, and it's pounced on by Launceston. And the tackler on the ground there doesn't get out of the way quickly enough. Mackenzie Cooper is no good, and he's hit his head low. Launceston want some assistance for him. His captain calls for some help. We'll just take a little bit of time here to check on Mackenzie Cooper. He's had a good game so far. And looks like he'll come from the field. Referee Gardner just doing a quick check whether the head knock is significant enough for a blue card, which means he won't be able to return to the field. Doesn't look like that has been called, but he will come from the field anyway. And we'll come back for the penalty against Salter from Taroona for not rolling away. Wind, it's an interesting wind. It's blowing. Sometimes those gusts are quite strong, and it'll be not really helping Launceston. The kick's not good there. Oh, rotten bounce. Eventually Towie gets to it, and they lose it forward. So just absolute chaos there for Taroona. That ball bounced anywhere but into their hands, and Towie went to the ground, and I think might have been Thomas who knocked it out of his hand forward. Just going to have a conversation with the assistant on that side. And it will be a Launceston ball as expected. Ball about to come into the scrum here, and Launceston drive forward. Salter takes out Peters without the ball, and the penalty advantage comes. So Launceston, Agayava with the ball. Andreessen goes a little bit high on the shoulder of Agayava, but we'll come back. Salter went early, tackled Peters from an offside position, and I think before he'd even picked up the ball. So just skirting the boundaries of the laws, trying to make the most of it, but Salter getting it wrong that time. And the kick does not find touch again. Well done by Thomas to keep that one in play. And Bird roosts it downfield with a bit of help from the wind. But Parley takes it on the first bounce and gets past Bird. Solid contact coming up in support there, though, from, that's Aidan Fenny from Taroona. And Bell now running back on an inside line. Wind gusts are really picking up now. It's going to advantage Taroona a lot with kicking. It's going to be hard for Launceston to kick against that kind of wind. Solid contact Scarf. He's also been busy. And now the ball comes to the back line. A kick through is good. Blowfield gets it, dodges the kicker in Sandler and gets back to some support. Lovell runs into contact. He's making it hard to tackle him. But the support comes and drives through. They go back towards the middle now. Taroona got a bit of chaos going on here for them too. They don't like it when it's unsettled. And Thomas looks for the pass and loses it. Launceston have regathered. And the counter ruck from Taroona looked good, but it's been picked and drived. And this time, Salter all over that ball, and the penalty comes Taroona's way. So scrappy rugby at the moment, and Salter kicks quickly and finds touch. So we'll have a line out. Taroona's throw, and they're inside Launceston's half by about 6 metres. They go quick to the front. So confidence in the line out often shows those little quick throws to the front. Often it's just a symbol of a lack of confidence in what's going on. Aidan Fenny takes a pass from Holman and makes another 10 metres in the contact. Towie now dishes it off. Some good hands in there. And Eddington throws a pass to no one. He had Kazarine out that way, but in the end, the pass went straight to Ben Louis, and Louis picked it off, said thank you very much, and the ball's been turned over. So disappointing there for Taroona. Some good hands by their forwards, and then coming all the way back for, okay, referee abuse or back chat from somebody. Again, more disappointment there from Taroona. Agayava kicks off 2 steps, puts the ball out, and we'll have a line out in a similar place to the last one, except Launceston will have the throw this time. Just time on, and we'll have a substitution. No, substitution. I can't see where that is. I think Briggs might have come off. And front row substitution for Launceston. Gee, jumping well across the line. And lifters not letting Lyle down safely again. They could end up being penalised. And ball dropped there by Brown as he drives through. And Lovell picks it up. So mistakes both ways. Ball comes now to Holman, around to Lean. And Dewindham goes back inside away from the touchline. Holman, solid contact and loses it. So again, drop ball. James Holman, cop one low, just lying there. Gets a hand back up. So that's a high pressure game here. Both teams just not quite executing their basics at the level that they need. Taroona have had most of the possession this half. Put a few phases together, but Launceston's defence is just holding up resolutely. We'll see what Launceston do from this defensive position. Agayava looking like he'll take the ball and he'll kick for touch, although the wind is blowing quite strongly towards him. Slow to come out. I know they go to Louis. They decide to take it, and well tackled by Kazarine. Now they come wide, and first time we've seen the ball in the hands here, and he's taken to the sideline in a good combined tackle by Towie and and Blowfield. And Towie gives him a little bit of a rub to say, yeah, nice effort, and the ball gets thrown back at him, but nothing there. Entertaining rugby. And Taruna with the line out. What are Taroona going to do here to resolve the line-out trouble? Lean at the front, no. Harrison at the back. Just find him. The throw just straight. Eddington runs into a bit of an odd attempted tackle by Sandler, and the ball comes back. They've got some space out wide, Taroona. No, the defence is good. Bird gets the ball to ground. And they come back. Thomas. Supported at the ruck. And they go blind, but ball is passed too low for Eddington and he drops it. So again, more pressure. Got a tackle there without the ball. And Taroona will take the penalty. Just have another look. Salter goes blind here. Oh, yeah, so the ball was dropped, and then the tackle came afterwards on Eddington. Not much you can do about that as the tackler. If he catches it, you smash him. If he drops it, you smash him and give away the penalty. So unfortunate there for Launceston. May have been Lachlan Wood there who made that tackle and had Eddington totally lined up. Right, Taroona, another line out here. The last one was iffy. Something that they'll need to work on with new combinations in their forwards. This time they go to lean and he takes it, but it's not straight. Really struggling. And Launceston will take the scrum. Maybe looking at some substitutions. Taroona need to make some kind of change. That if they can't win their line-out ball, they're going to really struggle. And with the kicking advantage of this wind, although at the moment it's not blowing a lot, not being able to win your own line-out's going to be challenging for them. So Peters to Louis, and he's taken by the backline defence, and Lovell's all over it. And he goes the quick tap too. He's got someone out wide. Holds on to it, and he's hurt himself as he landed on the ball, I think, too. It's probably not the situation there to go for the quick tap, Lovell. Would have been good to sit there and maybe take 3 points. I think Lovell just landed on the ball. Quick tap from him. You see, he looks for the pass and gets tackled. Yeah, it just landed on top of the ball, and it squeezed out in front of him. Few substitutions now for Taroona. Aidan Fenny coming from the field, replaced by Sam Loper. And another substitution. Ish Jewendum in fullback positions come from the field. It's been replaced by George Chaperon Tucker, who's come to the wing, and Ollie Bird to fullback. For Launceston, wing substitution, I think we see Jay Druava come onto the field for Finiasi Parlay. No, Parlay's come infield, and Peters darts around there and kicks the ball, but doesn't make any ground, and it's gone out on the full from inside his 22 though, but made no ground. So we'll be disappointed with that. But again, Taroona with the line out. They decide to go for the full line out this time to give them some more options. And Lean will jump, and they find him this time. I think that's their solution. It's a good one for Taroona to have two options at the line out. And they look to maul it. They start to move that forward. And again, Loper runs over two defenders and takes it to about 7 or 8 metres out. Oh, beautiful inside ball. That is unbelievable communication between Ed Solder and Anthony Lean. This was preset. Great work there from Loper, and what classic rugby here. The talk was on. He goes really wide, flicks it back inside, and Lean saw the gap open up in front of him and went through practically untouched. And Taruna push their lead out now comfortably. Well, I wouldn't call it comfortably, really. It's only 12 points at the moment, but with this wind, it's going to be hard for Launceston. And Taruna now more than a try out in front, potentially 2 converted tries. Launceston just looked a bit flat in the last 10 minutes of this half. Need to get their hands on the ball and get out of this defensive 22 of theirs, where they've been stuck for quite a lot of this half. Kicking out of there is going to be tough for them. Kazarine taking the kick. It's good. 21-7, so 14-point buffer there, which means Launceston are going to have to score at least 3 times to get the lead back. We might see a repeat of last year's grand final if they can score 2 tries and get at least one of them converted, with the possibility of coming from behind to win in the dying minutes. But they need to lift if that's the case. And we're going to see some substitutions, I think, too, for Launceston. A few more out there. Levi Samu on the field, the number 26. And the forwards just moving positions, all running in front of Peters. Then he kicks, and the chasers aren't quite going to be there, but Taue takes it and gets the ball off to Andreessen. Good contact on him. They need to release him, and do. Ooh, some scruffy work out the back there. Lean takes the ball in. Well tackled. Defence holds. Ball out in front of Towie, who's just made so many metres. He loves the ball in his hand. This time Andreessen can't take it though. And consistent defence there from Launceston just forces the error. Not sure what's happening with the ball. Someone just kicked the ball away, and Yessi Alatimu has it, and he kicks it back. I think there was some shenanigans out there from the players. All right, Launceston, first real opportunity this half. They've got the ball in an attacking position from a scrum. Their scrummaging has been excellent so far. We saw one here earlier, at which point Salter gave away a penalty for being offside. He needs to wait, but the scrum wheels, and Taroona might get that one. Once upon a time they would have actually, but no, that'll go back to Launceston. Some celebration on the other field here with Harlequin scoring a try. We'll reset the scrum. All right, ball coming in. And Launceston, what can they do? Can they hit back here? Sandler goes left, but didn't really communicate it very well to Peters. And Agayava busts through the two centre tacklers and gets his team on the front foot. Lyle now solidly met, and Lean, no. Holman has that one. And the drive of Scarf can't take his tight mitts off that ball. Taroona win the penalty. So turnover again. Try and check our other scores at the moment. Salter with a wind-assisted kick roosts it downfield. Gives his team an attacking line out. In case you didn't see it yesterday, our first match of the season was played out here between Hobart, Hutchins, Lions and University. And that was won by Hobart 27-21. Ball back inside to Lean, who breaks the first tackle and causes some headaches for the second ones. Salter goes to no one, taken by Lewis Thomas. And Taroona looking dangerous with Finney Taue taking the ball. Takes 3 to get him to the ground. It's going to be tiring for Launceston. Kazarine goes wide to Eddington, steps back inside. Well tackled. Nice tackling by Sandler just to get low and driving backwards, but the ball's there. Kazarine gives it to Andreessen. He's had the ball a lot, Andreessen. He loves this contact, but he's not making a lot of ground. And something going on in here. No, players are all happy, maybe. Ball comes back. Nice ruck work by Launceston, but Taruna maintains the ball. Harrison now going into contact. Taruna again. Good pressure in the counter ruck there. And the ball's kicked through by Lean, and it goes dead. So we'll come back for a scrum. Harlequin's 13 now, which is a good improvement for them. And Burnie will be on about 48, I think they've just scored. And out at Edie Street. So Glenorchy were up early. It's now 16, and Devonport have hit the lead on 17. So close one out there as well as here. Launceston very good in the scrum. The ball comes out. First receiver this time is Agayava. And now the ball comes out. Got some space out here. Nice step from Vunadakwa. And the pass, though, no good from him. I thought that looked like it went forward. But no, he's got it back again. And some heavy contact from Andreessen puts him to ground. But Launceston on the front foot now into an attacking position. Scarf, Lyle! Ho-ho! Lined up by Anthony Lean. I can't tell who it is. James Holman in the number 5 and sent packing. So entertaining rugby at the moment. Launceston really looking sharp at the moment now. They just look really good when they maintain possession. can hold the ball, give their flashy backs out here a bit of an opportunity to get some space, and that's when Taroona are really going to look like they're in danger. Here we go. A little grubber through. Look at it go. Sandler sits for him. Gives the ball away. Oh, knocked forward. But there it is. That's all it's going to take is one little flash of brilliance like that. And then we end up with penalty given away by Launceston, kicking the ball through in the ruck. So disappointing there, but very entertaining play. Great footwork there from the Launceston fly half. And excellent work. Picked it up in one leap and managed to pass the ball off to his winger who just couldn't gather it. But some exciting play. But useful for Taroona to get that penalty and manage to let some pressure out. Nice position on the line out here, right in front of our position. And the quick one again from Thomas to Thomas. Contact is there. The ball comes out now. Loper, Holman hangs on to it. Gives it off to Eddington eventually, who's taken down. And now Kazarine. He looks for the kick. Ball needs to sit up. If it carries on, it'll go dead. It doesn't, and it's gathered back there. The kick goes to absolute no man's land, and Harry Thomas has got a lot of room out here. Those players may not have been onside. And Taroona now with some numbers out on the right. Aaron Lovell doesn't use the space outside him, but takes two with him. And Taroona now driving very close to the line. And another try to captain Anthony Lean. So Taroona really now causing some trouble for Launceston. That wind that's picked up has just made it so hard for Launceston to get out of this defensive zone. And Lean makes really good contact on Lachlan Wood, driving him back, and he's unable to stop, and Lean dives over for another 5. 15 minutes to go. It's going to be a very, very hard comeback from here for the Tigers. Kazarine taking his time with the kick, sucking in a bit of a drink beforehand. Some entertaining spectators watching Harlequins, having a really good time. And the kick from Kazarine just across the face. So the score will stay at 26-7. That's a very comfortable lead though to Taroona. 3 converted tries for Launceston to come back from here. And they're looking down the barrel of a loss, but still time. Still can do that from here. Just need some of their players to stand up and get their hands on the ball. It's been the challenge this half for Launceston. Is a lot of defence with the wind keeping them out of the play. Holman takes the ball, dishes off to Lovell. Solidly met. And all of a sudden we've got a bit of a scuffle happening back here. Number 16, Nundolavu, getting a bit fired up about something with Aaron Lovell. And meanwhile, the ball gets booted downfield. And Launceston now have to defend. And that's a 50-22 as well. So fantastic kick there. Didn't quite catch who kicked it. I think it might have been Kazarine. Let's put that ball way downfield. Referee just wanting to have a chat with captains, I think, after a few scuffles. And he's not happy with the talk. We can see James Holman in the number 5 there, just coming back and talking to the Taroona back line about chat. The referee said, have a chat with your teams, please. So both teams will go together and there'll be a lecture. Right, 30 minutes down in the second half. Taroona with a 19-point lead. Players on a warning, both teams, I think, for chatting to the referee. And they're just getting a bit fired up, as happens towards the end of the game. Players getting tired, losing their discipline. The ball needs to be thrown in and is done so. And that looks all right, that one. But mistake there by the lifters, I think, coming in front of Lean. So when you have a look, Lean jumps up and he goes to ground and Eddington backs around in front of him. You can see there Jordan Eddington came around in front of Anthony Lean and he must stay behind him. And a nice kick to get out of there. So Launceston, who's going to create a spark for them here? Sandler has been good. At fly half. Sorry, just dealing with a bit of strong wind here at the moment. Holding onto our tent. Beautifully taken by Lyle. Ball comes now to Sandler. He goes forward. Gives it to Elijah Agayava running a nice inside line. But he's going to have that stolen. No, they just get it back. And they go left, but no one on the left-hand side is really ready for Launceston. All flat-footed. Now they're a bit better. This man's been very busy all day, Nundolavu. And here comes the ball. Oh, Lovell going to cause some trouble there, getting into the ribs of Agayava, who'd gone for a high pass. Possibly a bit late, given that Agayava didn't take that one. We saw a penalty for that earlier. Ball comes really wide and the player's out over the sideline. Oh no. And he knew it straight away. Wakaleva takes the ball wide and then just steps over the sideline, not realising how close he was. And Taroona will get the ball back. Substitution there, you can see Christo Lagrange there in the number 9 for Taroona. That ball goes over the back, but taken by Loper. Throw was straight enough, just didn't hit the mark. And we'll call the knock on there. Just a pass going on the bounce to Noah Kazarine. And a couple of substitutions for Launceston. They need someone to inject something. This man going onto the field on the left of screen, Yesi Alatimu, he can definitely provide that. Not sure where he's going to go. He's coming into the forward line. The forward line, I sound like I'm talking about AFL. Anyone know what's happening in the AFL scores? No, I don't know. Launceston scrum. Still inside their own half. Positional changes here. Peters is going to fly half with a new halfback on the field. And Taroona have won it against the feed. Ball comes out and Lagrange has it. Gives it to Lovell. Lovell needs to put a pass on. He does, but it doesn't go to hand. And that one goes out across the face of Callum Blowfield, and another substitution happening. Can you take that out of here, please? Thanks. Like right away. You shouldn't even be smoking anywhere on this property. Please, if that's all right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Sorry, just someone in our tent lighting up a cigarette. He's having a good time, though. That's all that matters. Great run by Peters. And just taken by the bootlaces, though. Launceston now, they need points and they need them fast. There's really only about 6 or 7 minutes left. Oh, and a beautiful run here. This is the man who can change the face of the game for them. TJ Peters gives it inside. That man whose name I've tried to pronounce a number of times, Nandalevu, taken down, and he tries to get back to his own feet. Great work in the end there by Launceston to get back to support him. And they're held up just in front of the line. Taroona finally get all their numbers back onside. Ball's off to Scarf, gets it off outside, and here he is, Yesi Alatimu, and he scores. So Launceston hit back. They're back in it. Good ball movement in the end there. The cover defence got there quickly, but ball came out there. Well done by Scarf to shovel that out to Alatimu, and the big man scores and gets his team back on the scoring board. So 26-12, 2 converted tries the difference. This one is all important. Peters is going to take the kick. Doesn't have a lot of time. Peters doesn't waste any time marking his kick. He goes back. It's important for him to put this one over. Gets them within 2 converted tries. The kick goes to the left and is no good. So 14 points in it. 5 minutes. 5 minutes left. Taroona taking their time. Lagrange with the ball. And it's a high kick. Goes fairly short. And Bell jumps high for it and is taken by Holman as he hits the ground. Peters. Agayava. He goes wide to Louis. Lovell slips. And now the ball's coming down the wing. Shapper and Tucker on the defence there. Oh, nice tackle by Eddington there and knocks the ball out. Shapper and Tucker getting drawn off his wing there by Louis. And it was all too easy to get around the outside of him. Nice run down that sideline by Wakalevu. Didn't run over the sideline that time, and he looked sharp. But the knock-on is against Launceston, and Lagrange will put the ball in. New hooker on the field, I note there for Taroona in Rob Clayton. Played earlier today. Ball goes to Bird, and Bird kicks. Wakalevu takes it on his chest and dishes it off. Shapper and Tucker just makes an easy tackle on him. And it's knocked on at the base there. Not sure, I think might have been Yesi coming in there. Ball's on the ground and they've knocked it forward. The last 3 or 4 minutes now. Taruna's ball. They'll be happy to soak up as much time as they can in possession just to prevent Launceston from coming back, because they've just got a bit of a spark now with a few substitutes coming on. It's a nice scrum. And the penalty comes for Launceston disengaging for that scrum early before the ball's out. Eddington, he's carried the ball a lot of times today. Rolls it back safely. Lagrange, Kazarine goes behind to Andreessen. Needed to give that pass. There was space out wide, but hangs on to it. Certainly something we've seen a lot today with Taroona centres. He's just the dummy instead of pushing it out when there's more space. And they knock it on eventually. Launceston now have the ball. Can they put on one last try? Lyle has been solid all day. Lots of numbers in the back line here for Launceston. Good hands. Oh, Chaperone Tucker tries to intercept and knocks it forward. He might get penalised. And some solid contact there from Eddington. Intentional knock-on really there from Chaperone Tucker, but he had about 4 men free on his outside, and it was really all that he could do. So in an attacking position from Launceston, he would be likely to have received a red card for something like a yellow card for something like that. But in this situation, he's really potential for a lot of cover defence to come across, and he's just disrupted Launceston's play, but they get the penalty. Just waiting for the ball here. Fons will be throwing this one in. And just waiting on a substitution here. Balducci coming back on the field. Tanaka Harrison will take a rest for the last 1 minute of the game. And they go to Bell, but it's not straight. It's clear in that situation with Bell having to use his outside hand to knock that one down. Makes it easy for the referee, and we'll have a scrum. Ryan Dudman in the number 6 on this side of the scrum in the tight head for Launceston, and Michael Smith on the loose head for Taroona opposite him. Substituted players come on the field, and Taroona again drive and look to milk another penalty here. And now it comes, so the advantage is there. Now they go. Got an opportunity to chance it here. Ball bounces loose and taken at the back by Wakalevu, so no advantage from the scrum penalty. And we'll have another scrum in a similar position. Interesting option there from the penalty. Taroona choose for the scrum rather than kicking, but the line out has been difficult, and Thomas and Thomas are both off the field now, having a good game, the two of them, in their first 15-a-side match for Taroona. So really, I don't understand the point of trying to milk the penalty again if they're only going to go for the scrum, but Kazarine kicks again. I think there was also a penalty too, and we're going to come back. So just wasting lots of time, but we'll probably have a warning here against Launceston for the repeated scrum penalties. Just a bit of psychology here. I think Taroona will do it again, and someone will end up getting a yellow card if there's time on the clock. Game on the other field behind us has finished. Burnie the victors. Comfortable fashion. And here we go. So pushing very much into the final minutes of the game. Taroona have just had 2 scrum penalties their way. And they'll look for another one here just to rub salt into the wounds. And no, well done by Launceston to hold it up this time. So they don't aim for the kick. They go wide to Andreessen. He passes to Bird, who finds Blowfield far on the wing. Steps off his left to try and get on the outside, but well defended, and he dishes it back. Taroona now looking to put on points at the final part of the game. Balducci gets a run at that ball, but it's almost taken from him. He gets it back. Ball comes wide. Holman gets around the first, finds Loper, who gets it to Lovell, and Shapper and Tucker's on the outside. He's got a good step, steps inside and gets crunched, but maintains the possession there. Now Lean driving for the line. He needs to get to the ground. Very close now. Taroona diving over. Has been knocked on, and there's full time. So in the end, a comfortable victory to Taroona, 26-12. After we saw scores, a 14-7 margin at half time. So Taroona scoring 2 tries in the second half, and Launceston scoring 1, and the same in the first half. So 4 tries to 2, but that's what we've got in store for us for this season. That's match 1 and round 1 done here at Rugby Park, where we've seen Taroona come out victors in the replay of last year's grand final. That is it for our rugby for this weekend. Thanks for watching if you're there. Hope you enjoy it on the replay. And we'll see you all next week somewhere around the grounds in Tasmanian Rugby.